Most people think of games and all kinds of fun things when they think augmented reality, but how about building ships? Well, we're with Dexter Lilly. Dexter, your company, Index Augmented Reality, Index AR, has solutions to help businesses and factories be more productive. Why don't you give us a little summary of what you guys do, and that we'll launch into a conversation.
Sure, Ken. What we do is we're actually a engineering services company that understands AR. So we go into a large industrial company and we try to understand what are their big problems, what are their big issues, and then we look at those issues and try to determine which ones can AR be applied to, and then we use our teaming agreement and our resources to go solve those problems for them.
And you're looking at really high-skilled labor that is in short supply in many industries, but also is highly paid. So what sort of productivity enhancements can you get by applying your solutions?
Well, as I've said before, my background is industrial, so I understand those processes. I help bring lean into a large manufacturing company, industrial company, and we were getting 5 and 10% improvement with lean. I left the company to do this startup because I understand that this is going to be far greater than that. I think this is going to multiply skilled laborers' capabilities by 2 or 3 or even as high as 5 times.
And tell us what we're talking about here. If you're building a ship, how could what you're doing, what are you doing exactly?
Well, first of all, it's not just ships. It's any large industrial complex task, like building an oil and gas plant, building a large building like a hospital, building commercial ships as well. But what we're doing is we're going into those systems which tend to be very customized. They're not building 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of these over and over. They're building one at a time, and it's different than the next one they build. So we have to solve very specific problems in those. And we're providing the tools through AR deployed on a mobile device to allow them to do their work much more efficiently.
Well, and that is a huge task because you really have to understand what they're doing, and I imagine there's a lot of upfront planning.
Yeah, our first step is we have engineers, so we're engineering services. We understand industrial problems. So our first step is to go in and understand the client's problem. Then, only then, after we've storyboarded what they want and helped them understand, we're about halfway through our project process before we even begin to think about development. And so development is really on the back end of what we do, and developing a specific custom application to solve a specific problem.
And so you're really providing kind of information or almost real-time training as someone needs it sounds like, right?
Yes, we're providing the information that the worker needs, skilled workers again, not unskilled workers necessarily, but skilled workers primarily, when they need it, where they need it, and then the format they need it in.
So imagine just the documentation part of it, making sure the formats are correct and that sort of thing must be a huge task.
Oh, it is. I mean, really the 3D overlay and the 3D piece of this that AR can provide is the most important. But getting those other things right, where the buttons go, how a skilled worker works through this, it's very important for training that person. What you want is only 5 or 10 minutes training. If you've done your job right as an engineer and then a designer and developer, then you don't need a lot of training for the people that are actually doing the work.
So what sort of devices are they using these days out on the factory floor?
Right now we use whatever the latest and greatest tablets are, whether it's Android or Apple. So that's what we're using right now. Heads-up displays are not OSHA qualified yet. Once we get the number of devices is deployed to a size that we feel comfortable providing those to a customer or recommending those to a customer, we'll switch over to that. So whatever can be used today is what we will use. If that's different a year from now, we'll use that different thing.
Well, and as you point out, OSHA supplied, I mean, they're in environments that can be very dangerous sometimes, right?
Absolutely. I mean, there's hazardous, explosion hazards in some cases, and things like that. And today we just use tablets. And honestly, we don't mind if we break one now and then because they're almost a consumable. Some of the other tools that skilled workers use cost a lot more than a tablet.
And that makes sense. Looking forward, do you see this applying to, say, the VOD TV readers? Do you see it moving into the telecom industry as far as the things you're doing there, taking those process improvements?
I think that's possible. I don't have a great understanding of that industry, but if there's large industrial things that have to be done in the telecom industry, then absolutely you could use it there.
Great. Well, look forward to learning more and keeping track of you.
Great. Thanks, Ken.
Dexter.